Training camp has started. It is almost August. We've got a little over a month left of drafting. I thought today would be the perfect opportunity to not use my microphone and then to use drafters today. Let's go. So we thought that usually it was the 10 a.m. in the morning that caused me to have, these little glitches in the matrix where I forget to bring my microphone out. But it turns out I just suck on Sundays. But I'm glad you guys are here with me. Donovan is letting us know that in the description, it is edition, not edition. LOL. I copied and pasted that from Eric Beimfort, and that's why you see why we don't let him do anything here. Really, he is just he's just the face of the company. We have to do everything else here, or that's what happens. I have not fired much of the actual. I'm just all over the place today. Everything's bad. Everything's bad. I have not fired much of the main tournament on drafters. I have completed one of their smaller field tournaments, which are great. They have a $2 tournament. So if you haven't done that, I completely suggest that you do that one. I'm going to try to get through this show because Jesus, am I not having a great one at the moment. But we're going to have a great draft is what we're going to do. So we're going to jump in to a fast draft here on drafters. I'm going to use my ticket that I have, and we're going to wait for 11 people. So that's not great. So we will sit here. We will wait for ourselves to get into a draft. Before we get more news on Brandon Ayuk, are you grabbing more Debo or more Ayuk or neither? I'm just grabbing both at the same clip at this point in time. Just mixing that second round tier in. I'm fine with having both of them. I mean, I love Debo. I like Ayuk. So it hasn't really changed in my drafting on either of them at the moment. Can't imagine that Ayuk actually holds out. So we'll see. We will see. Drafters does have this promotion here as well. If you draft 10 drafts, you get a bonus ticket. 25, you get another one. Draft 50, get 2 more. And draft 100, get 3 more. If you max entry, you get $100 in bonus funds and a t-shirt. So good morning to you, Self. So yeah, I do a lot of my drafters mobilely, and then I come on here sometimes. So we are waiting right now for this fast draft to fill. If you guys are looking to jump into a drafters fast draft, now is the time to do it. Again, we pushed the show back. Usually we do this at 10 a.m. on Sundays. I wanted to take my dog for a walk at this particular, honestly, graveyard. It's an old pet cemetery in Dedham, Massachusetts. I thought it looked pretty cool. I wanted to get him out there, get our walk in there. Saw some really cool old gravestones. So that's why I pushed this show back today. I have to work in Manhattan this week, so just like to get that time with my dog while I am home. So that was what I did today, but we are here. We're ready to draft at 1 o'clock as promised. We weren't ready to stream. Clearly, the mic was on the other side. I was pulling myself off stream. It was a disaster. I don't know if there's a worse draft start than that, but again, we're going to draft on drafters. Good morning, Shuby. And if you're unfamiliar with drafters, this is cumulative scoring. This is not a playoff format. So week 1 matters just as much as week 17. So some of the guys that should fall a little bit more in this tournament. Guys like Jonathan Brooks, who we really like in other tournaments, he's not quite as valuable in this one. And there's a few other guys. If you thought the Rashee Rice was going to get suspended 6 games, would not be as valuable in this tournament, but I don't think he is personally. So those are the things you got to look out for. Some of the rookies might be a little overvalued here and there in this tournament. Not that we don't want to take shots on them, but those are the things we're looking through when we're doing these drafts, right? I believe we need a few more people for this draft. Would love for you guys to jump in. I would love to get this tournament done, or this draft done. The tournament, yeah, let's just finish the tournament today. Let's just knock it out. As you can see, there is about 44,000 people that have entered this tournament. It gives about 140,000 plus more for it. It's probably going to overlay. They overlaid last year. There will be a big push towards the end. This tournament does get a huge push in the last 2 weeks. You'll see it start skyrocketing in numbers. So I wouldn't bank on heavy overlay, but there will be overlay by my guess. And if you're not interested in doing the $15 one, or you not liking the price point as much, their $2 tournaments are pretty sweet. I think the first one was 20,000 for first. This $2 one is $25,000 for first. So you can max this tournament for $300, 150 entries, $300, and get 25K if you finish in first place. Probably the best tournaments in all of best ball for cheaper price points is what I would say. What kind of exposures do I have on Saquon Barkley? None. I don't, and I wasn't even opposed to drafting Saquon. He just got moved up to a point that I'm not comfortable taking him where he is, and I'm a guy that likes to take some stands and fade players. And he just naturally became a fade. He wasn't like James Conner, who I'm just like, I'm never drafting James Conner for better or for worse. Saquon just moved to a point where I'm like, he just doesn't fit what I'm trying to do with my rosters. So I don't believe I've drafted any Saquon in any of the current, season drafts. Like some of the preseason drafts, like the big board and stuff, I might have grabbed him in some of those, but I don't think I have him in any of these. And if I do, it's less than 1% is what I would say. So if he buries me, he buries me. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to lose occasionally on years that I fade players because they bury me, but I think I'm going to win more than not. We had a decent year last year. We're going to have some good years coming up. And we have our pink Dunkin' Donuts drink because we're from Boston and we have to drink Dunkin'. We are contractually obligated to from birth. We don't even like it, but we just know we have to drink it. So that's where we are at right now. Looks like a few more for this draft and we will get going and get a little bit of a better view here for us while we draft. I actually don't know what the best view for drafters is going to end up being. We'll try this. Thoughts on Pickens? I'm grabbing Pickens, but I'm grabbing a lot of Kansas City stuff. So my Pickens exposure will probably be around 8%. I won't go nuclear on him because there's like just a lot is going on in that vicinity that I like. So I will have my Pickens exposure, but I won't be at, I can't imagine I'm double the field like I am with other players. So Pickens will probably be around 8%. I can actually tell you right now while we wait. I'll look up what my current underdog exposure is on Pickens, and we'll see if it's what I think it is. I think it's going to be around 8%. So let me look at my exposure. And we'll just do a search for Pickens across all of my teams. And Pickens. Currently, I'm at about 5.5%, but I assume that'll get to 8%. Oh, baby, we got the draft filled. Thanks for everybody that jumped in. Cobra Kai guy has already busted out 115 of these. And you can see how many of this particular tournament somebody's drafted. So you see, I've only done 3 of these, even though I've done 150 of the smaller ones. I usually save my drafters bullets to August for better or worse. That's been kind of the way I've been playing it. Don't like this view for drafters. We're going to have to figure out what I do like. Let's try this. Nope, that puts me in the way of the people. We'll, let me edit this and God, I don't know. Throw myself over here, I guess. Think that's what we'll do. Yeah, Cobra Kai guy's been getting at it on drafters. It's a fun site to draft on. And I like their interface, mobile and on the desktop. Like I could just click right here on and draft my my slow draft teams, and it just pops all up right in this top vicinity. Can't see my mouse, but up in that top it'll show you, and you can just click between your teams very quickly. So we get the number 2 pick here when this draft gets started. You can see some of my exposures and stuff from the DraftKings, the Spike Week tool. Oh, Cobra Kai guy starts with CD Lamb. Not what I wanted. I wanted to grab CD at the 102. I only have 2% Christian McCaffrey. We're going to grab Jamar Chase. We're just going to build that way. McCaffrey, probably decent. Obviously decent in any format. Probably wouldn't find to grab him here, but I'm still going to try to build through receiver unless I'm pulling Bijan up or something in drafters for now. But I don't think it's bad to draft McCaffrey. I mean, if anyone tells you it's bad to draft Christian McCaffrey, they're crazy. I'm just personally fading him for the year. Just for the way I want to draft my teams. I've been fine with fading McCaffrey, and I've been fine with fading Tyreek Hill. And it's just 2 players that I'm fading, but going back to what we were just talking about with like just being overweight on players, just looking at my underdog exposure, I'm at 18% on Jamar Chase. Bijan, I'm at 27%. Don't try this at home, kids. Jefferson, I'm overweight just a little bit right now. And I'm kind of fading Amon-Ra. It's not on purpose. I got 4% Amon-Ra, so I'd like to get that up a tick. Highest round 1 exposure is Bijan for me, for sure. For sure. I just slide him all around the board. I'm trying to get so many different types of Bijan teams that I have quite a bit of Bijan. There was a quick thought to take him at the 102 here, but I'll take my Chase share for now, and I will grab more Bijan throughout August earlier on this site, probably. Will be how I play it. So we'll get our Chase exposure, and then we'll try some other things. Be coming back up on the clock here in a second. I hope everyone's having a good Sunday. Hope you're doing much better than I've been doing on this show, because Jesus, do not show this to anybody. The beginning of this show. Show the final team, because it's going to be glorious, but do not show them how we got there. We struggle on Sundays. We are on the clock here. Of course, Saquon's at the top of the queue when people were bringing him up. Let's grab Malik Neighbors to go with Chase, and then make a decision on what we want to do at the round 3 pick. Oh, Cobra Kai does go with Barkley. And he grabs Metcalf. I was going to grab Achane or Kyron. I think I'm going to grab... Yeah. I think I'm going to grab Kyron. I like Achane a lot too. There's like just such a coin flip for me. I think I want to grab Kyron on this team. So we'll go ahead and grab Kyron. Tebow, you got 33 drafts under your belt in this contest alone. I think you're going to be fine. I think you'll be okay. So the great thing about drafters is we get that one variable we can take away, which is playoff stacking, because it just does not matter. I think team stacking matters a little bit more in this one. We want to be really correlated with our teams in general here and there, but we lose that whole week 16, 17 playoff correlation stuff. Just weeks 1 through 17, best team wins. And it really makes me push myself to hero RB a lot. I still do some zero RB, but I talked about this on stream before. When I'm doing zero RB, that zero RB usually starts a round earlier. So like if it's round 8 on underdog that I'm comfortable pushing it to, it's usually round 7 that I'll take my first running back in these builds. But I do like to build through Bijan, of course, Kyron, Devon Achan, guys like that in these particular tournaments. Anything interesting happening with any of these teams yet? We do see the CMC Waddle Achan team, which is pretty fun. That's a pretty fun start for that team. See Kelsey go in the 3rd round here as well. Tebow started with Marvin Harrison and Drake London. Adds another wide receiver with Kirk and does a double Jacksonville move with Kirk and ETN. The 11 hole, like Garrett Wilson, has Jahmyr Gibbs. Also grabbed Derrick Henry. Be interesting to see if they go back to receiver here, and they do with Tank Dell. So I don't think anybody's gotten anything crazy out of line yet. We see Nick setting up a Eagles team. And something I'd like to know, some data that I would probably want to dig into at some point, is we always talk about how hard it is to do these Eagles teams or teams with huge draft capital early. Are they better suited for tournament teams, or are they better suited for cumulative teams? Is what I would want to know. And you see that he adds Hurts here. So I wonder if they're better for cumulative scoring than they are for playoff teams. And I'm not saying they are or are not. I would just be interested in the data of taking 3 guys, like a double stack from the same team in the first 4 rounds like this, and figuring out which tournaments they do better in. Because I would not be shocked if it's cumulative, to be honest. So it'd be a nice thing to dive into at some point. Something to think about is what I would say. All right, so you see Trey McBride go. We have 2 wide receivers. I think we're just going to do a stack. We'll grab Mahomes real quick. Cobra Kai goes with McLaurin. And he also grabs... Let's guess that he grabs... I'm guessing it's going to be Lamar or Kincaid, is my guess. Nope, he grabs Hollywood. We're going to grab Rashee Rice to stack up with Mahomes. Really not so worried about the suspension risk, and I think he'll just continue to move up. So getting Mahomes, Rice at the 4-5 turn, totally fine with me. So I'm fine with that through 5 rounds. Jamar Chase, Malik Neighbors, Kyron Williams, Mahomes, and Rashee Rice. Feel pretty good about this start. Like it quite a bit. This is a 20-round draft as well. Let's not forget what's going on, Johnny Footballs. First here is letting us know that there's been 2 highlight reel TDs for Ray Davis so far in camp, 1 on the ground and 1 in the air. That's good because I don't draft James Cook. I don't like where he goes in the draft. I'm looking at other positions in that range. So the running backs that are around there, I just do not end up drafting. And it's not that I don't think that James Cook is going to, completely dud out. I think he's going to have some decent scoring games, but I'd rather allocate to other positions right around where he goes personally. Whether it's tight end, whether it's quarterback, whether it's wide receiver, I just like all of those guys better than the Rashad Whites, the Josh Jacobs, the James Cookses of the world. Cookses, my precious. Exactly how Gollum would say it. What was I going to bring up? Okay. Maybe I'll wait a couple more rounds to bring this up, but I need to talk to somebody about this. And we'll wait till we get our through on the next two picks. It is completely off topic. So we'll get our next two picks in, and then I'm going to derail this show completely. Tebow's going hard on this Jacksonville. He's got Kirk, Etienne, and Ingram. Has the unneeded Week 17 correlation with Calvin Ridley. So he is getting a team stack. I mean, obviously, you can still have Week 17 correlation because it's just going to happen when you draft. But I do like that he's building this whole Jacksonville thing. Having that team stack, I think, is relatively important. So kudos to Tebow for that. I think it's pretty good, personally. I'll just bust your balls about the Week 17 because I'm sure it wasn't intentional, but it's fun to make fun of people. I'm sure we'll end up with some Week 17 correlation ourselves without trying to. Sometimes you just fall into it. Nick killing our dreams of getting Xavier Worthy. Never thought he would fall to us anyways, but a guy can dream. We can dream a little dream. And then, of course, I shit on James Cook, and he is at the top of the draft queue, but we will grab DeAndre Hopkins and fade that situation. Get our fourth wide receiver here. I'm going to grab JSN. I think JSN is a good fifth wide receiver. So Chase Neighbors, Kyron, Mahomes, Rashee Rice stack, DeAndre Hopkins, JSN for the team. What I want to talk about. Look at Versier with the Dortch news. All right, here's what we need to talk about. Off topic. What do you think of Robert Downey Jr. playing Dr. Doom? That's what I need to know. Because I love Robert Downey Jr. He crushes almost every role that he's in. Obviously, we'll always know him as Iron Man. I know they're doing the multiverse thing. I'll watch it, and I'll give it a benefit of the doubt that I think he'll crush the role. But it feels real desperate. I know they have to pivot from Kang with, everything that happened with the actor that was playing him. That's got to be a major pivot. You have to do it. It sucks. It sucks that we're not going to finish out this Kang storyline that I thought was started out pretty weak. But they got to move on from it. They got to pivot this entire franchise, which is insanity, over one actor. Like, it just sucks that that's what it is. But man, I don't know. It feels really, really desperate from Marvel. So I'll watch it. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. I hope that he crushes it. I hope I'm able to separate the Tony Stark for the Doctor Doom. I hope they find a way to make it very compelling. But man, does it just feel like they are panicking and they're like, what is our saving grace? Our saving grace is Robert Downey Jr. But we'll see. I think we get Fantastic Four next year. So we'll see some seeds of it. I can't imagine he'll be a focal point of that movie. I think we'll see just a little bit of him before we get the Avengers movie. But if you can finally do Doctor Doom right, God, if you can finally do any of the Fantastic Four right. I mean, Jessica Alba, great. I would like to watch Jessica Alba in a lot of movies. However, the Fantastic Four movies were not great, as we all know. So, I don't know, man. I'll watch it. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. I just, it feels really forced. It's like, hey, remember how much you loved Robert Downey Jr.? Here he is as a villain. Sorry, great comparison that it's when one of the wrestlers you love comes back with a different gimmick. It's like, oh, he was a good guy. He was a tugboat, but now he's a battleship. And now he's one of the masters. What were they? The natural disasters. That's who it was. Typhoon and earthquake after he was tugboat. Some of you have no idea what the hell I'm talking about. Some of you are too young to remember the early 90s of wrestling. So I was just curious to see what you guys thought. Seems like people are excited. Some people are skeptical like myself, but we'll see what he does. We'll see what he does. We will give it the benefit of the doubt. Who do we want here? I think I want to pull Brian Robinson up. Maybe we grab Najee. Nah, we're going to draft fun. We're going to have Brian Robinson. I really like Brian Robinson this year. So we're going to grab Brian Robinson. And then we're going to grab Joe Burrow and be done at QB. Do a little bit of a Cincy stack here. Cincy, Kansas City, sort of a double elite QB build. And cumulative, probably worse than cumulative, to be honest. Probably not the smartest move. But I just want to see what we can get when we build it out. And you're stuck watching me do it. There's no way you can click the X button. It's just not allowed. I will call Dr. Doom. Oh. So traveling to Manhattan this week, working near and around the Central Park area. Haven't ever gone to Central Park in New York, so my hotel's a few blocks away, so that'll be an interesting experience. Let you guys know if I can get any boots on the ground for Giants or Jets camp. I won't be able to. Don't expect it. But if it happens, I will let you know. If I see Malik Neighbors galloping through Central Park, oh yeah, he's really good at galloping. He just crushed it as he galloped through Central Park. That's about the amount of camp news I'd be able to give you. So be on the lookout for that. What am I talking about? Nobody knows, honestly. Sometimes we just say things so that there's not dead air in music. MDS remembers Tugboat. My first wrestling show ever. I was 4 or 5 years old. We went for my birthday. It was a snowstorm. Like, it had just been a snowstorm, so the roads were terrible. I think we had to drive to Worcester, which is a little bit of ways for me. It's not super far, but the main event, I don't remember who they faced. I actually found the card a few years ago. But it was Hulk Hogan and Tugboat when they were tag teaming against somebody else. And all I remember is seeing Hulk Hogan and being in awe as a child. So there you go. You get to hear about my first wrestling show story. And now I just go to every AEW show that comes to Boston. Shout out to Chris Jericho for hooking your boy up with tickets. One of the nicest guys there is Chris Jericho. We are coming up on the clock shortly. We started this team with Jamar Chase, Malik Neighbors, Kyron Williams, Patrick Mahomes, Rasheed, D-Hop, JSN, Brian Robinson Jr. That was a dedication to Robert Downey Jr. And we have Joe Burrow as well. We are going to be coming up on the clock here in a second. And Big Play Carno takes Chase Brown, which we really wanted for this team. That would have been the pick. That would have made me feel really good about what we were doing here. A little sad that he got taken where he did. Was hoping he fell. And Josh Downs goes. You sons of bitches. What do we want to do here? Let us grab. I'm just going to grab Zach Charbonnet, who I like a lot. 2, 4, we have 5 wide receivers. Waiting on Cobra guy to take his pick. He does. He grabs Blake Corum. We're going to grab Rico Dowdle and get our 4th. So we have a 2-4-5-0 build right now. Usually don't like punting tight end, but just the way that this draft's broke and some of the things we've done have caused us to do that. And I'm okay with doing it on a small sample size of my drafts, but I'm not looking to punt tight end quite often. MDS says he's never been on Drafters. What are the numbers in parentheses next to the username? So that's how many times they've drafted in this particular tournament. So in the Drafters Best Ball Championship, Cobra Kai guy has already done 115 of these drafts. For me, this is my 3rd. 49er. This is his first draft. That's why there's no number next to him. And you can see it all around. Like Z Stelco has 113. Tebow's done it 33 times at this point. JG is almost done. He's got 143. So it just kind of lets you know how many times somebody has drafted in this particular draft. So it doesn't mean much other than like if you see a big number, like, okay, he's done a lot of drafts, so he's got some experience, but experience doesn't always mean that they're going to draft the way you think they are. They might have stuff that they're doing that they like, or on drafters in particular, they might have a certain structure that they prefer that others don't. It could be anything, but it just lets you know that these people have drafted. So it does give you a little bit of insight into who they might be, but you still got to pay attention. It is warm in here. Don't like that. I actually hate the summer. I don't know if you guys know this about me. Despise summer. Worst season. 4 out of 4 on seasons is summer. Garbage. Give me fall, give me spring, then give me winter, and then give me summer. Because summer is a nightmare. Do have my annual Six Flags trip coming up in about 3 or 4 weeks or so. So I'll be doing Six Flags. I have found the key to Six Flags. This is going to sound crazy. You go on a Wednesday. Go to Six Flags on a Wednesday. We did a Saturday a few years back, which I didn't want to do, but it was the only day that my friend could go. we take his he has twin sons that we bring. They're older, so they can go on all the rides. But we went on a Saturday. We got on like 4 rides. Couldn't even get a flash pass. It was a nightmare. We went on a Wednesday, no flash pass. Got on the Superman ride like 100 times. Never really waited. It was amazing. I only have the running back tab selected. I was getting very concerned for a second there. And we are a wide receiver short for what we like. But let's grab Cole Kmet. Let's get a tight end. I do like having Cole Kmet as a tight end here. And we'll do a gadget tight end. We'll grab Taysom Hill. We'll double tap tight end in this spot, which I'm fine with doing. But yeah, Six Flags, good time. The only place that we had lines on a Wednesday was the water park. We had to wait like, 25, 30 minutes. I think that one of them was close to an hour, which is too long in the sun. And I got a concussion in the water park, so that was great. We enjoyed that. Distribution of weight matters on those rafts, believe it or not. And when you're an idiot and put all the weight on one side, you flip backwards and smash your head on the bottom of the pool. And I'm too old, but I'm also too prideful that I didn't go seek medical attention. I kept going into the water like an absolute idiot. So, story time with Rob, I guess, when we do 1 o'clock drafts on Sundays. This is not the normal time going forward, by the way. We'll be back to 10 a.m. for the majority of the summer. I think September 1st is a Sunday. I have my home league draft. My home league draft that day at 10 a.m. So it'll be probably 11 a.m. that particular day. And I'll throw it out there just because I was going to throw it in Discord, but I have one open spot in my home league draft. It is a redraft. There are no keepers. It's a $205 buy-in. And if you are interested, DM me on Discord or Twitter. There's a weekly payout. It's $50 for the highest scoring team. Top 2 from each division go to the playoffs. So I need to fill the spot, and I don't feel like texting all my friends. So if there's someone that is interested, it is a bunch of casuals. And I'm the worst because since I started best ball, I am awful at my home league. So I'm dead money to begin with. But if you're interested in it, shoot me a message and I'll get you the spot. You just got to pay before the draft so I can lock your spot in, which is pretty fair. 800 first, 400 second. So only one spot available though for this year. We are entering round 14. We've double tapped tight end. We have a 2-4-5-2 build. Definitely feel like we're a wide receiver short, but that's okay. I think that's obviously from grabbing that Burrow selection where we grabbed him. But we are done at quarterback. We're not going to go beyond Mahomes and Burrow for this team. I think we can obviously still add another tight end without worrying about it. Something I'm fine with doing. I think we have a pretty solid squad for a cumulative scoring contest, though. Really get that Malik Neighbors upside, that he could just be the dude all year, but we have a team that allows him to come on a little late if he needs to. So I'm fine with that. I don't want to get bogged down early with rookies. I think the toughest range to navigate in this type of tournament is that range with McConkey, Odunze, Brian Thomas, Keon Coleman. Really like them in regular tournaments. I don't like them as much in this tournament, although the upside could flash later. But again, week 1 matters as much as week 17. So we need them to get there a little bit earlier than we need them to get there in the other tournaments. But they can still be fine for the team if you build it right. Just don't want multiples of those guys generally. I'm going to grab Troy Franklin. Speaking of shitting on rookies and then just drafting one, seems like the right thing to do. But I think Troy Franklin has heavy potential to be involved immediately out of the gate there. And I think I'm going to grab Bateman. You can vomit in your mouths now. I understand. Not a fun pick. But let's go ahead and lock in Rashad Bateman here as well in the 15th round. I think he's just going to have the chance to start out the year. I wouldn't be shocked if he loses out to Devontae Walker. But if we can get 7 or 8 relatively, I mean, 7 or 8 is asking a lot. But I think he'll have the chance to be on the field quite a bit. I just really do think that Devontae Walker is going to overtake him. That's why I like Walker better in playoff formats than I do this format. Yeah, Dobbins is gross, man. But I've been clicking Dobbins too. I've been grabbing some Dobbins. Yeah, I mean, Aguilar is always going to be a thorn in the side for Sear. He'll pop for like a game or two, but I don't think he's, how old is, how long has Nelson Aguilar been in the league now? That's a good question. He feels like he's been in the league for 1,000 years. Birthday, 1993. 31 years old. I could have swore he was 131 years old. So I would have lost that bet because I thought he was over 100. Just sort of looking through teams, seeing some constructions. Again, I don't see anything egregious in this particular draft. I think everyone's drafting relatively well. I think all the drafts mostly make sense. I'm still not on Gibson. I don't know what the injury was the other day. I didn't follow up with that. I can't bring I clicked Gibson once and I was like, never again. I'm not doing this ever again this year. Hated it. Not a fan of drafting Gibson by any means. The Cincinnati Reds scored more runs. That would be nice. Nope, still just 1. I would like for them to have 2. 1 is fine. I can live with 1, but I need them to win by 2 would be preferable. Not betting advice. And definitely don't come to me for betting advice lately. We have been getting absolutely crushed. Had like a good couple weeks a few months ago. We're feeling ourselves, and then we just started getting absolutely crushed. And we are reducing our sports betting output, which I should have been doing anyways for best ball purposes. And because I don't know shit about baseball. I just bet it, and I do good, and then I get cocky. So we are who we thought we were. I have an idea of what I want to do with the rest of this team. So I'm going to grab Braylon Allen. This was probably a mistake. I think I should have went with the other pick that I wanted first. Probably should have gave this a second. Cobra Kai grabs Roshan Johnson. And I'm going to grab Jalen McMillan with my other pick. That's who I wanted. So we're going to grab McMillan. I think I know what I want my 19th and 20th round picks to be. We are sitting on a 2-5-8-2 build right now. Mahomes, Burrow, Kyron, Brian Robinson Jr., Zach Charbonnet, Rico Dowdle, Braylon Allen, Jamar Chase, Malik Neighbors, Rasheed Rice, D-Hop, JSN, Troy Franklin, Rashad Bateman, Jalen McMillan, Kmet, Hill. I think with this tight end situation, there's a way I want to play it, and I think this will be one of the few teams I do it with. But we'll see. I think we can play this so many different ways. The team's, I think, solid enough that I can grab another receiver. I have 3 picks left. I can add another RB. We're not adding QBs. We're definitely adding another tight end. But I think we can kind of play around with our final 2 picks. I don't think we need another receiver, but I also think it's fine adding one. I don't think we need another running back. I think it's fine adding one. So I think I know how I would like to play this. And it's not something I'm going to do, like I said, frequently at all. I don't love it. But for this team, and this team in particular, I think I can do it. So we'll see what happens when it comes back to our pick. What's the weather like this week? Not that everybody lives in the same place. Rain tomorrow, rain Wednesday. Not great. Don't love that. We don't love that the Tampa Bay Rays have 2 guys on with 1 out. That's another thing we don't love. Should have taken Cincy in the first 5 innings. That would have been the way to play it. And they just got the double steal. We are screwed. We are screwed. Thanks a lot, Cincinnati. Thanks a ton. And they just walk somebody to below the bases. Things are going great. Bo Melton going in the 18th round. Look at that. Gesicki goes, so that ruins our plans. Gesicki was one of the guys I wanted to grab for another tight end here. There was thoughts. There was thoughts of grabbing him as a tight end, but alas, he's gone. How much does the overlay cost? If you go to spikeweek.com, there is a listing. Sorry, I have my 2 picks I'm going to make real quick. Let's shoot for some tight end upside. Let's grab Sinnott. This allows us to still kind of do what I wanted to do in the first place. And God, wide receiver got absolutely mangled, huh? And let's grab Malik Washington. So if you go to the website, go to spikeweek.com, there is a listing of different levels that you can purchase, but also check for some discount codes as well, is what I will say. There's BKurt, $40 a month, $300 a year. So well worth the investment. Well worth the investment. And if you, and I'm just saying you might be signed up to another site, there are some promotional offers. So, and that $40 and $300 gives you everything, not just the overlay, the draft IQ, which we should probably do a show on and show some of our team exposures and stuff like that. It allows you to see so many different, like whatever you want to know, the draft IQ is going to show you. How frequently are you drafting out of this spot? When you draft out of this spot, how many times have you drafted this player? Like, what is your combination of Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow? Are you doing it way too much because they're both sort of elite QBs? You can find out everything, and I mean everything, with the draft hacker and the draft IQ. And it is so easy to upload your teams. I uploaded all my teams on Drafters 10 minutes before I did this stream, and all my percentages are in here for what I've done in that $2 tournament so that you can see it. So we've got one final pick coming up. You don't even have to request the CSV. It just automatically sends it. There's a button that you'll click and it'll just send everything right to the Spike Week site. So once you're signed in, it's as simple as that. All right, we are on the clock and we are scrolling all the way down. Where is he? Oh shit, I should have done this earlier. What the fuck? Okay, well, I messed that up. Ugh, we're gonna do it. We're gonna grab Clyde, and I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. It's not what I wanted to do, but we did it because we panicked. Did I not click on him? What just happened here? No, I did grab him. He's just not showing up on my completed team. All right, so we went Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Kyron Williams, Brian Robinson, Zach Charbonnet, Rico Dowdle, Braylon Allen, maybe CEH, Jamar Chase, Malik Neighbors, Rashee Rice, DeAndre Hopkins, JSN, Troy Franklin, Rashad Bateman, Jalen McMillan, Malik Washington, Cole Kmet, Taysom Hill, and Ben Sanat. So, bit of a fun team, a little weak at tight end, but I think we'll be fine. We will get through it. We will endure. We will persevere. Go enjoy your Sunday, everybody. It's been great doing this draft. We'll see you next Sunday back at our normal time slot, 11 a.m. I hope that you all enjoy your week, and we'll see you later. Woo! Those were some spicy takes. Want to stay up to date with all of the other spicy takes we're going to have over here at Spike Week? Why don't you press that subscribe button below? You turn notifications on, we draft a team, boom, you know about it. We have another spicy take, boom, you know about it. You can be there. You can draft with us. You want to stay up to date? That's how you do it. All right, we'll catch you later next time here at Spike Week.